My name is Tim Drantel. I'm a captain at Delta Airlines. I went to college via the United States Air Force Academy, so I do have a college degree with a master's, but that is not required to be a pilot. You do not have to have your master's degree. Previously, a college degree was required. Because of the staffing shortages, the airlines have dropped that requirement. It may still be used for stratification. I would still highly advise people get their degree, but it's no longer a requirement. Ever since I was a little kid, I wanted to be a pilot, and the Air Force seemed like the best avenue to accomplish that. To be a professional pilot, there's basically two tracks. You can go ahead and join the military and have them send you to flight school, and each branch of the services has their own flight department. So Army, Air Force, Coast Guard, Navy, Marines all have their own flight schools. So you can go through the military, have them send you to pilot training, and then you get to gain experience that way while you're serving your country and serving with some of the most fantastic people in the United States. The downside of that is they want their return on investment, so they're going to require that you serve for anywhere from 8 to 10 years before you can go ahead and depart the services for an airline job. The other way is pure civilian. You can go pay out of your own pocket, get your flying license by taking lessons, and then usually the flight school will keep you on as an instructor, then you teach the next batch of kids coming up, and you gain your experience that way, and eventually you get hired by a small regional airline, and then eventually to the major airline. And anywhere along there you can stop and make that your career. Anytime you get on with an airline, you go through about 6 weeks of in-dock training, it's called, where you're just introduced to the company, take care of all the admin stuff, benefits, your retirement plan, medical, that sort of thing. Out of there, they assign you an airplane, and then you go to that airplane-specific school where you learn how to fly that airplane, and that takes about 6 weeks. In the aviation industry as a whole, we're short flight attendants, dispatchers, schedulers, air traffic control. Those all have internship components to them. So if you're interested in those type of careers, particularly aviation mechanics, there's a internship involved there. Boeing just came out with a study that going forward in the next 20 years, we're going to need 650,000 new pilots, 700,000 new technicians, those are mechanics, almost 1 million cabin crew. So those are all excellent opportunities for folks to get into the aviation industry. My experiences in the military prepared me very well for my career as an airline pilot, in just that I had a lot of very broad experiences dealing with a lot of different situations, and it basically honed my leadership skills. As you start your professional career, you're going to start as a first officer, basically assisting the captain with the conduct of the flight. You still get to fly, but while you're sitting in that right seat, you get the benefit of the experience of flying under somebody who's got more experience. So as a captain at the airlines, you're in charge of the flight from point A to point B. So you're in charge of ensuring the safe conduct of that flight, making sure you have enough gas, that you and the dispatcher agree that the weather's good and sufficient enough to get from point A to point B. You're working with the under-the-wing folks to make sure that you got all the bags on board, the airplane is in good and safe airworthy condition, and you have the fuel on board necessary for the conduct of the flight as well. And then once you're off the gate, then you're entirely in charge of the conduct of the flight from takeoff to touchdown. Yeah, I really love being a line check pilot because I get to mentor the young folks coming through the airline, and basically get to show them how it's done. And the biggest piece of that is caring about the other people on your crew and the passenger. A lot of finding out what you want to do is finding out what you don't want to do. So I would recommend, if you're at all interested in becoming a pilot, go to your nearest airport and ask them for what they call a discovery flight. They're going to put you in the pilot and command seat of the airplane with an instructor and take you up for a 1-hour flight, let you fly the airplane from takeoff to touchdown, of course under the supervision of the instructor, and you can get to see if that's something you want to do. Like I mentioned before, across the aviation industry, we're short-staffed, so there's other opportunities. If you like being a mechanic, you like technical things, we're 50% staffed on aviation mechanics right now. Air traffic control, if that's something you're interested in, 50% staffed on the East Coast currently. Those represent outstanding opportunities. Additionally, in each airline, there's a corporate structure that includes financiers, schedulers, dispatchers, marketing folks, and we're all growing. In the aviation industry, one of the benefits is flexibility of where you live. A lot of flight attendants and pilots live in places other than where their base is. I currently live in North Carolina, but I'm based in New York City. Prior to that, I was based in Atlanta. The benefits in the airline industry are outstanding. Great pay, good benefits to include medical, retirement, but above all is the travel benefit. I get to fly, my family and I get to fly for free as long as there's empty seats on an airplane. So if there's empty seats on an airplane to Paris, we can fly on that airplane to Paris for nothing. My advice is, if you want to be a pilot, go take that discovery flight. If that's not for you, then there's other opportunities in aviation.